of the big technologies that will underpin the factory of the future will be this idea of the blockchain. You might have heard the term blockchain mentioned. It's garnered a lot of attention recently due to it being the underlying technology that facilitates NFTs and cryptocurrencies, which have been the subject of a lot of media attention. But arguably, one of the most useful applications is actually in the context of the factory of the future, specifically the supply chain. But before we come on to that, let's take a look at what a blockchain actually is. So the tech world is excited about blockchain because it represents an advancement in the way that information is recorded and held. Fundamentally, blockchain is a database or ledger of information. However, its technical composition means that users can have absolute confidence that the information being displayed is complete, accurate, and by all intents and purposes, infallible. Once information is written onto a blockchain, it's close to impossible to change that information, or at least impossible to change that information without others seeing that it's been tampered with. Blockchain also works on a distributed basis, which means that the ledger information is not held in one single location, but instead concurrently across multiple computers on a network. Now, the beauty of that is that an up-to-date version of the information that can be completely trusted can be accessed by any interested party at any time. To use a very rudimentary analogy, picture an Excel spreadsheet that is write-only. So new cells can be added to, but existing cells cannot be tampered with, edited, or removed. And a copy of that spreadsheet is available at any time to any party that wants to view it. Ultimately, that's what blockchain is. Think of the impact that an infallible record of transactions that's accessible by any party at each step of the supply chain could have on manufacturing. It would make the supply chain more transparent, giving greater confidence to parties at each stage of the process. Now, as the technology develops, you could even track individual assets along the supply chain using NFTs. So an NFT is a token. That's a form of digital asset that exists on a blockchain. So you could think of it as a cell on the spreadsheet that we talked about earlier. Now, these particular tokens are non-fungible and therefore NFTs, in the sense that they are unique with an individual identifying number. Now, contrast that with Bitcoins, which are probably the most well-known cryptocurrency, which are fungible due to one Bitcoin being the equivalent of any other Bitcoin. It doesn't matter which Bitcoin you possess, as they are all the same, whereas that's not the case with NFTs, which are all unique. To give a real-world example, a £10 note is interchangeable with any other £10 note, and therefore fungible. However, a diamond isn't the exact same as any other diamond, and a diamond, therefore, is non-fungible. So bringing that back to the factory of the future then, by assigning an individual physical item a corresponding NFT, or digital token, it could be tracked digitally along the supply chain. The NFT is in effect a unique individual identifier of that physical item. This solves the problem of provenance and counterfeiting. It should be possible, by tracking the history of the NFT, to follow the journey of a physical item right back to its initial manufacture.